So glad you are here today. We have a product release video where we're going to release a update, new feature set to the Aldelo Express platform. This is one I've been waiting on for a while. Excited to have it. And I think you're going to enjoy what you're going to see. It's going to greatly enhance our system. What we're looking at here is the coursing feature for Aldelo Express. And it's generally a fine dine application. There might be one that's not fine dine, a use for this that I'm just not aware of. Tell me what it is. I'll be glad to learn. But for my past, it's always been a fine dine table service feature, one that I really like. I really enjoy this feature and having it. I like it when I go out to dine, when I go out to eat. I like my meal to be paced at the right pace for what I'm doing. If it's a business meal, I might like it paced differently than I am with a social gathering. But the pacing of that meal is done really well when you have a coursing feature. And this feature is really, truly customer focused, and it really improves the service of that restaurant. It makes that restaurant feel like it's more professional. It's a better overall experience for the diner. It's not something that's widely offered by a lot of POS companies. And you might wonder why. Well, it's hard to do right. This is not something that's holding fire. This is not where you just draw a line on the ticket and have it printed in the kitchen and the kitchen has to figure it out. This is a little more detailed, a little more behind the scenes. There's a lot more to it than just sending the meal and drawing a line on the ticket, which is what a lot of systems do. They just draw a line across the ticket and that's how the kitchen has to figure it out. No, not if you're going to do it right. It's a little more difficult. So for Aldelo, these are the features that we've written into the system. We have up to 10 courses that you can offer to the customer. Each course can have a custom name. You'll see in a minute how we allow that to be customized to that restaurant. There are options to auto fire the courses. There's a good example of that. With the first course you're going to ring up might be starters, it might be salads. But after you've rung those items in, when you hit done, they're going to automatically send that first course. You don't have to go back and fire that course. You can set it to auto fire. When you hit done, it immediately sends that first course to the kitchen. And it can be used with seat ordering. So you can order by seat, by course. That is something we do in our system. You can assign courses at the item level. So you're able to go in the back, in the above store, and program the menu items to automatically go into certain courses where they don't have to be put there by the operator. They can just go in automatically. But you can set the course at the POS. So if you don't want to go to that level, you can designate the course at the point of sale, and whatever item then you ring up goes into that course. If you have it where it auto courses and it automatically puts the item into a course, you can certainly change that. For instance, people might want a salad to be as an entree. That's an example of what that would do. So here's how you set it up. You're going to go into the settings in the above store. You're going to go store config, then POS config, and then there's a general tab. From that, you scroll to the bottom and you will find a new option for fine dining config. Click on that, and then you simply check the box for enable course and fire. Once you've done that and you activate the courses, you then get to choose. You turn on the courses, each one that you're going to have, up to 10. And as you do so, you can then name that course, and then you can set that to auto fire. In our system, the default is going to be that the first course is auto fire, but you can certainly set up additional ones to auto fire if you wish. Then once the course and fire is set, that is saved, you then can go to the product area. Then you go to item setup, select an item, go down to extended settings, and then go all the way to the bottom, and you'll find auto fire course. This is where you then program that menu item to be assigned automatically to one of those courses that you set up previously. So once you set up that one of those 10 courses, you can now assign a menu item to one of those courses. And then when you ring that item up at the point of sale, it goes right into that course. Changes at the point of sale. When you activate this, you're now going to get an orange button in the bottom left. That is where the courses are activated, where you can then touch that button and see the different courses that are in the point of sale. Once you've entered an item, the item does have a different appearance. You'll have two new pieces to the left of that item. One is the course that you're on, and then there's a new icon. It's hard to see on this screen, but you'll on your point of sale, and then here in a minute when we get on mine, you're going to see it's a little flame. It's a red flame. That means you're going to fire that course. When you touch that orange button in the bottom left, this is the display you're going to see. You're going to see all the courses that you currently have active. I've got 3 here, but if you had 4, 5, or 6, you would each have a course shown here with that custom description that you programmed in. Once you've selected the course that you wish now to enter, now this is assuming that you don't have it automatically set for the product level. So if you're not setting it for the product level and you're just entering it in manually, you're going to touch the course that you're entering, and then you're going to enter the items, and they'll then go into the different courses. On my screen here, you're seeing the first 3 are going to fire when I hit done. The next 3 that are in the blue, those are the seat numbers. So I'm going to enter them by seat. Those are not going to fire. They're being held until I fire that course later on. When I hit done, those first 3 are going to the kitchen. On my recall screen, there is a little icon on the bottom left of the tombstone there that shows that this particular order still has items that need to be fired to the kitchen. They still are being held by course. Next up, when I choose the course, I now hit touch the button that I want to fire. If I want to fire the main, I'm just going to touch that main, and then those are then shown here with the flame. They're going to be fired when I hit done. And when I do that, then the kitchen gets a receipt that shows the items by course. The course is named, and only the fired items are shown. So if you have that auto fire for that first group of starters, once I've entered the rest of the ticket and I hit done, only the starters are going to go, and they're going to print as you see here on the bottom portion of that receipt. When I'm ready to fire the next group, that only those items fire, and they're shown as C2 or course 2 main, and then course 3 dessert. So I hope we got some questions here. Officer in Pleasanton, what we got on the questions?
Believe it or not, it's been very quiet. We've got one question that came in that just asks, does this work on Android or Apple or both? And the release, because of the timing between how Apple and Android releases happen at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store, it is today. You can get it on Apple, and here in a few days, you'll have it on Android. So, but that's your only question, Jerry.
Okay. Well, we're going to look at this live. I've got 2 portions left to show. I'm going to exit now, and we're going to get into the back office or above store. I'm getting to where I want to call it above store, because it's really not in the back office. There we go. So you should be seeing my back office screen. Is that correct?
Yes, we see your back office screen.
All right, very good. All right, so let's take a look at the setup I showed you earlier, where you go into settings, store config, POS config, and we're on the general tab. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and you see your new section, find, dine, config. And from here, you just simply turn it on. Once you do, you get some options here for the different courses. You can see all the way I'll scroll down, you'll have 10 different choices. So enable first fire course. Yes. Yes. And then course one enabled and the name. You can change this name to whatever you like it to be. And is this auto fired? Next up is whatever you want to call this. It defaults to main, but you might want to put starters and then salad is different. That's your choice or whatever it is on that menu. And then go down through the courses. So I'm going to leave it now at 3, but you do have the same options all the way down to 10. I'm going to hit save. Now that does save it here. And now it's activated on the point of sale. Let's go over to products, item setup, and go into my appetizers and pick one. Go down to extended settings, and then you'll scroll all the way to the bottom, and it's close to the bottom. Auto fire course number. Drop down and pick the course that I want this to go into automatically. And in this case, I'm going to make it go into starter. And once I save that, then that's also live at the point of sale. And that's the setup, guys. That's it. Turn it on. Name the courses. Select the ones that you want to auto fire. Save. If you want to then program the items, you can go into the items setup, select the item, and then just pick the course you want to auto fire to. And that's it for the back office. All right, while I do that, are there any changes or questions that would you like me to answer?
So Doug wants to know, does this work with kitchen coordination, where you show at the bottom of the ticket? So coursing and firing will work with kitchen coordination, where you are sending kitchen items to different printers and listing that items are being made at different printers. Yes.
Very good. Anything else before I move on?
That looks like it so far.
All right.
Sure.
Well, we're on my iPad now, so let's go into the point of sale. Dine in. I'm going to choose my table, and now you'll notice on the bottom left, I've got my new select course button. That is now activated because I activated the above store to ring up. If I ring up now, seared pork belly has already defaulted to go to starter and auto fire. You saw me do the whatever that is, whatever that item is, it's also going to auto fire in the starter category. Now, to move to the next group, I can select the course, main, and now enter in what I want here. And it's going into the main group, the main course. Select again, dessert, and I can then ring up my desserts. The ones with the red flames, those are the ones that are going to fire now. These are by seat numbers, and I can enter in by seat. Once I'm done with this, I just simply hit the done button, and now those starters have fired in the kitchen. You'll see here my order. I've got items that I can send. Select the course, main. And now that's fired. One more time, take my gesturing finger and go left to right. To activate, I go fire, select my dessert, and fire those. I still have an order to pay, so I can now pay that order. And we're going to do that again. Select my items that are going to be starters. Select the course. And then I can choose the items that I want to be in that course for the main. Choose my next course. And then select the items that I want in my desserts. Once I'm done, I hit the done button. Then I can recall that ticket. Swipe left or right. Choose fire. And what am I going to fire? Just the main course. Send that in. Recall here. Swipe left to right. Fire desserts. And now they're fired. When I'm done, I can pay the ticket. Okay. I don't see anything in the chat. What questions you guys have? Open it up.
The chat's clear, Jerry. You've gotten everybody's questions. You've done a great job.
This is an awesome feature. Not everybody's going to have it. You can always void and choose a different one. That's just to swipe right to left to void an item. Okay.
Hello, Jerry. Have you got a moment for a question?
Yeah.
Hey, this looks awesome. Glad to see this kind of coming in because I've had a few demos. As you know, I'm just kind of getting on board with Aldelo and kind of learning everything about it. So this is great to see. One question that I've always kind of gotten into with more of the fine dining area is when the items go back to the kitchen, to the printers themselves. If you have a table that is, let's say you've had three New York strips ordered at various temperatures, you got 2 salmon and so on. Do you have a feature? And I mean, I'm asking, you know, obviously maybe for the future, and we always want more than what's there. But one of the questions I had recently was, do we do a summary so that it's more like the expediter's ticket? So it summarizes at the bottom like 2 fillets medium, 1 fillet, you know, rare, 2 salmon. So it takes a long kitchen, a ticket that's been printed to the kitchen and summarizes mainly around the proteins, the items that they need to immediately fire. Does that make sense? That question makes sense?
Yeah, I've seen that. Jeff, I'm going to need some help on this one.
Well, what he's asking to do is actually summarize the ticket, which is the default in the software. So
Okay.
if you order 4 of the same thing, there's 4 steaks that are going to be medium rare, and there's 2 rare steaks and 2, God forbid, well done steaks. It will combine those like items in the kitchen for you.
Okay, that and like I said, forgive me, I've talked to Lex a few times. He's done a good job coaching me to this point. But I'm still kind of learning those intricacies. So it summarizes them in that way, I guess. So that's perfect. So
good thing you weren't talking bad about him. He's sitting right here. So
thanks, Lex, for all your help.
yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, well, you answered my question. That's awesome. Thank you. This looks like a great feature.
All right, so I got seat 1, which is shown here. Bring up an item for seat 1. I'm now going to touch the blue dude. And we're going to go seat 2. So now I've got that for seat 2. Go to my main, and I can now ring up items. I'm still on seat 2, as you'll look up and see. And I can change that back to seat 1 and ring up the other entree. So now I'm ringing up by seat, by course. Left to right, fire, Main, done. Now that's fired. So Glenn, there is not an automatic fire. This is a manual fire. There may be some of the window systems out there that do it with an automated fire. We chose not to do it that way. And their specific reason is you never know how that one table is going to be faster than the other. If I'm at a business meeting and I'm trying to close, I don't want somebody forcing me out of the restaurant. I want my pace to be a little slower so we can talk. So each table is going to have their own time that they define as what they need. So we didn't choose to do it that way. However, if you want to have an automatic send for an item, there is a feature in the product area that allows you to do that. You can, in the item level, down near the bottom, right below where we were, you can choose a automatic hold by item that will fire the item as a hold. You can do that automatically there. Okay. Can you change seat one? You can always change the seat until you fire it. All right, what other questions? I'm listening. Anybody want to unmute themselves and ask their question? Jeff, did we cover everything?
I think you did a great job, Jerry.
I love this feature. I want everybody to take this feature and then go play with it. Go test it, go play with it. Get on your demo system, activate it in the above store, go to the POS, look at the differences, and then get comfortable with it. It didn't take me long to get comfortable, but that's just how I learned. I take the items and I take them and I go through the system and I try and mess up. I try to do it wrong, and that's how I learn how to do it right. Just remember, swiping left to right is how you can activate the selection of the courses that you'd like to fire. That's the one, I guess, hidden trick, if you will.